Yani tumekufa mali kabisa kukusa ufuta na mpunga tena ndio jumla.
Lakini baadhi alipoingia kutuumiza kila kitu. Sasa tumebaki kila kitu hatuna, maana yake kule shamba hakuna hata cha kusema kidogo iki hapa tukaende shamba kule tukavune tupate chochote riziki hakuna.
These are the voices of the residents of Rufiji, their faces etched with worry, fear and uncertainty about the future. They sit and contemplate their next steps, trying to figure out how to save themselves and their families in the middle of harsh realities they face.
Afrika yametuasili na watu wangu sana, tunapata taabu sana. Kwa sababu kilimo hicho tunategemeaga familia yangu kama unavyoiona. Kwa hiyo mpaka sasa bado tunaendelea kupata taabu.
This is Rufiji, Tanzania, approximately about 14,500 kilometers square, with a population of 159,906, according to the 2022 census in Tanzania. On April 10, 2024, this area was struck by massive floods and left over 10,000 people homeless and destroyed hectares of farmland and crops belonging to the residents of Rufiji.
Katika kilimo changu nakumbuka hii sasa kama mara ya pili napambana na balaa kama hili. Achilia mbali 98 ambayo nilikuwa kama vile najaribu kulima tu, lakini kuna mafuriko yaliyopita hapa mwaka nimeusahau kidogo. Haya yameniumiza na haya tena ndo kuzidi. Maana haya nilikuwa nimejipanga katika mpango na mwanangu ilikuwa aende chuo mwaka jana, maana kamaliza mwaka juzi kwa mwaka jana aende chuo. Kutokana na hali ya nini nikashindwa kumpeleka. Kwa hiyo nikawa nimejipanga mwaka huu nilime ili nimpeleke. Sasa mpaka hivi ninavyoongea sijui kama nitafaulu zoezi hilo.
Ugumu mimi kwa kweli naupata mkubwa kwa sababu na watoto 4. Wa kwanza ndio Isa, wa pili Lauzo wale pale. Watoto 3 ni mapacha ambao hapo losimama na mwingine yuko wapi? Mustafa hapo la 4. Maana yake ukiondoka shule asubuhi inabidi niwape hata 200. Ndio msingi mkubwa ni kwaga nikipata chakula nauza naweka pale kwa ajili ya matumizi madogo madogo. Kama hivi mboga, labda nguo. Kwa hiyo msingi mkubwa ni kilimo. Kwa hiyo sasa hivi kuna changamoto kubwa.
We have this problem. As we do remember that last year there was a landslide in Hanan in Manyara region. But recently we noticed the impact of floods in Morogoro region, especially Marini, Ifakara and Kilombero, but also in the coast region, especially Rufiji and Kibiti. So many people, some people, we can say tens of people died, but 1,000 people displaced from their homes. There was a destruction of infrastructures, and this it means that the government have to spend some money, unbudgeted money, so maybe sometime money that's a fund that's budgeted for other activities have to be shifted to tackle this problem. For example, you can find that even the schooling children, sometimes most of them they fail to attend the classroom because all the infrastructure was destroyed. But even the health sector was affected, plus the water sector, because we found that even the water sources, some water sources were destructed.
In large part of East and Southern Africa, the ongoing heat waves and drought are taking their toll. Among those affected are 45 million children facing unprecedented hardships. This is not just a problem, it's a series of disasters accompanied by severe malnutrition, flood and disease outbreaks, all driven by climate change. As the larger Rufiji communities face these challenges, children bear double burden of these harsh conditions. Although Africa contributes the least to global carbon and greenhouse emission, it suffers the most from the impacts of climate change. A new report from the World Meteorological Organization (WMO) states that these changes threaten food security, the environment and the economy, causing people to relocate and increasing conflict over the scarce resources.
Mimi yangu ndio hivyo tunapambana mashamba yenyewe ndio tumetoa mbegu za mahindi tunajaribu kupambana lakini ndio mahindi ndio hivyo wadudu wameshika kila kitu mabongo mara na kula panzi tunapambana tu hivyo lakini bado haijakuwa mzuri.
Yaani kwa mafuriko haya hamna tulichotoka nacho. Hamna tulichotoka nacho kwa sababu hayakubakisha kitu. Huko kwenye ufuta vile vile yani hata kusema labda si kama umepata labda si mbegu tu, yani mbegu yenyewe labda si hata ile kilo 20 haijafika. Yani tumekufa mali kabisa kukosa ufuta na mpunga tena ndo jumla.
The 2022 State of Climate in Africa report showed that temperatures in Africa are rising faster in recent decades, with climate and weather-related disaster becoming more severe, yet the funds allocated to combat climate change are grossly insufficient to many developing countries.
Of course, it's not sufficient. You know, this is a very huge problem. For example, when you go to, I think you know what happened to Manyara, it was very serious, you know? And sometimes allocated resources is not sufficient. And currently you see that the government try to find, to support those community, African community, even the construction of new houses through JKT. It means that although there is some resources, but it's not sufficient. So in this aspect, that's we want to say that development stakeholders, they have to see that this is a very big problem especially for developing country. So that's why during the COP 2028 it was the one fund which called the Loss and Damage Fund was just suggested to be on operation, because sometimes on this, for example, this kind of disasters, which is unexpected, it affects the developing country a lot. So the presence of backup mechanism, those backup mechanisms from private sector, from international organization, it means that it can help a lot for the developing country like Tanzania when affected with this kind of disasters.
Over 110 million people in Africa were directly affected by climate-related disaster and water scarcity in 2022, leading to a loss of over $8.5 billion. Emergence Department statistics indicate that more than 5,000 lives were lost, with 45% due to drought and 43% due to floods. However, the actual number of affected individuals may be higher due to unrecorded incidents. This significantly hinders national progress and increasing government operational and disaster management costs.
So the government have to invest, to find some money so as to provide the service to the people, even to produce this, to establish temporary shelters. For example, last time we went with the Prime Minister to visit people of Kilombero and Rufiji. People are located in the camps, so you can that even the livelihood of people has completely changed. Even it means that even the economy of the people on those areas are highly affected.
When you talk of climate change issues, when you talk of who are the main contributors of environmental pollution, global warming, countries like Tanzania, you know, poor countries actually have a very small contribution. A lot, maybe 80% to 90% of these, you know, greenhouse gas emissions are actually resulting from industrialized countries.
Climate change is harsh and bitter reality. Here in Rufiji, we witness it through rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfall patterns, and increased extreme weather events like floods and drought. Residents live in harsh conditions that are difficult to adapt to, leaving them with unanswered questions about the future and the safety of their lives and those of future generations.
Rufiji residents depends on agriculture, fishing and livestock keeping, and here River Rufiji is each and everything for them, but the floods have distracted their livelihood and sustainability.
Mume amefariki 2016, nikasema siwezi nikafanya kazi nyingine, naenda kuchezea ardhi ili nipate nini? Chakula.
Kula kunataka, watoto wanataka kusoma. Hali ishakuwa ngumu, lakini kuaga nikilima, nikipata linakuwa tatizo nalikwamua. Nikiuza ufuta, nauza, napata hela na tatizo linaisha. Tunaendelea na maisha yetu kila siku. Lakini hakuna ufuta, hakuna chakula, hakuna mpunga. Kwa hiyo ndo Mungu kashapanga, hamna la kumlilia, tutupo tu.
Nikajaribu kujitafuta, nikasema mimi itafikia hatua sasa itakuwa kama ombaomba. Bora nifanyaje? nijitume mwenyewe kwa vile mwenyewe naweza kufanya vibiashara vya hapa na pale, hivi vitumbua nini, lakini nimekwama, kipato chenye cha hela sina, hata ule msingi sina. Na nikasema mimi msichana kama mimi kuhangaika huku na kule kutafuta na watu kufanya mambo yasioeleweka siwezi, kwa sababu kile chakula changu nilikuwa nikipata kinanisaidia.
As a large portion of farming community in Tanzania faces consequences of floods and changes in rainfall patterns, many coastal fishermen are in a state of alarm due to the increase in sea temperatures and the significant decline in fish and marine life.
Mabadiliko yapo makubwa kwenye upatikanaji wa samaki, kwa sababu hapo awali samaki walikuwa ni wengi na walikuwa wanapatikana maeneo ya karibu, kulikuwa na watega maeneo ya karibu, lakini kwa sasa samaki wamepungua na ili kuweza kuwapata inakubidi uende mbali.
The fishing and blue economy sector in Tanzania contribute 1.7% to the national GDP in 2022, providing direct employment to 195,435 fishermen and 30,064 fisher farmers. Moreover, 4.5 million people, or 6.89% of the population, are indirectly employed in this sector. However, increasing environmental risk and the marine degradation threaten their economic well-being.
Elimu ni muhimu kwa sababu kizingatia hii tumeweka kama shughuli ya kiuchumi ambayo sisi wote tunaitegemea kwa kuanzia familia zetu na jamii tunayoishi nayo kwa ujumla. Mnyororo wa thamani ni mkubwa ambao tungependa elimu iwepo ili kutusaidia tujue namna gani ambayo tunaweza tukakuza upatikanaji wa samaki.
Critical interventions includes investing into climate smart agriculture, promoting early warning system technologies, but you can also say that we need to have proper infrastructure that can withstand flooding and other effects of climate change. But also, when it comes to fishermen, we need to have policies that can be able to support them, but also we can say that issues around ecosystem restoration, but also issues in terms of sustainable fishing is very key. But also having financial support, financial incentives to both farmers and fishers. These are the things and these are the policies that can help them withstand and the effects of climate change.
Recent statistics show that women are among the most affected in Tanzania's fishing communities due to the disruption of fishing sector.
Unatuathiri sana kwa sababu samaki ukishanunua bei, yani unatakiwa utumie akili kuuza mpaka irudi hela, la sivyo hela inakata. Kwa ndo yani ndo kunatuathiri kihivyo. Unakuwa faida upati wala hela hairudi.
Tanzania, one of the largest countries in East and Central Africa, continues to make a deliberate effort to tackle the immense challenge of climate change. This is done through establishing robust environmental coordination and control policies, launching significant projects like carbon credit, adopting and using renewable and clean energy, improving eco-friendly transportation system, tree planting campaigns. All these are paving the way for sustainable environmental development in Tanzania.
But although we emit less, but we are highly affected. In the country, that's why we decided to come with these NDCs. Our approach from the NDCs, we said that we will contribute on reducing emission by 30 to 35% emission, greenhouse gases emission. In this area, we thank our government, especially Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. As you know that we have a lot of mitigation projects. For example, this SGR. You know, SGR, we have the new SGR, Leru in Tanzania. This will. It's a smart project because we are going to use electricity instead of using diesel. Among the few countries in Africa, Tanzania among the best countries which are doing better on conservation. After we have this, what we call tree planting campaign. Per year, our plan is planting 276 million trees. Each local government authority have to plant 1.5 million trees.
As part of fulfilling the 2015 Paris Agreement resolutions, and in support of global effort to keep global temperature from exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius, it's crucial to remember the important role of every citizen and country to achieving a sustainable development goals of 2030 and 2063 agenda.